Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your reading for mid-May 2025. You have this mouse spirit. It says tend to the small things, and this chameleon spirit, it says act as if. I think that acting as if is amazing right now, so definitely something I would do. Act as if you already are like the thing that you want to be. The tend to the small things card is like about paying attention to the small things that matter, and that kind of makes sense to me, Virgo, for you. Just based off your astrology, like if you're going to be making a mistake this month, it'll probably be something small. So to avoid making those mistakes, pay attention, especially on, I always say that it's like never the big things that I make mistakes on. It's always like the simple, easy things that I know how to do, right? And that's kind of what I feel here is that it's saying, it's not going to be like some sort of big mistakes that you make. It's going to be on the little things that you do kind of like mindlessly because they're easy. So I don't know. I just kind of get this feeling of needing to double check your work and, double check the things that you're creating. Do I think it's a big deal? No. I think more than anything, if you do make a mistake, it'll just be annoying, right? So avoid creating annoyances in your life. You have the Four of Pentacles, the Eight of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. Again, we have this full moon on the 12th, and I will be publishing this video tomorrow, the 10th. And so 2 days before the full moon. And if you're watching this before, and even if you're watching it after, it's happening in Scorpio, and we are all being asked to kind of release something that we are holding on to. And, that's just it. And so a lot of you at this time in the middle of the month could be kind of like letting go of something that no longer serves you or something that you've been holding on too long to. It's probably something having to do with your security with the Four of Pentacles, but it could be something that you think brings you security, but actually doesn't. And so, this could be anything. It could be something that makes you money. It could be something that literally provides you with security. The good news is that you'll be finding something better. So I wouldn't worry about it. I think that this full moon, like some astrologers are speaking about it very negatively. I definitely don't think it's an easy moon, but at the same time, we have very good energy in the month of May, and there are some good aspects to the moon at the same time. There are some challenging ones as well, but I think for the most part, the result will be positive. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. Again, you're being asked to walk away from something. You have the Eight of Cups. The thing about the Eight of Cups is that these 8 cups do provide him with something. He's walking away from 8 cups. But he's walking away because he knows he would be settling if he stayed in this situation. I always say that the Eight of Cups really is the card that asks you to not settle on less than you deserve. So a lot of you definitely could be being asked to walk away from something that you're settling on. And it could be anything. It could be love, money, business. I kind of feel like it's an aspect of your life. I think that's the word that I said on the Four of Pentacles. But, it could be some sort of security. It could even be like a behavior. I think we all have certain behaviors in all areas of our life that we do to kind of like try to protect ourselves. And, that could be what you're walking away from here. You have the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands has to be bold and assertive and really go for what she wants. She also uses the sun as her guidance. She has this sunflower right here, and the sunflower points towards the sun. So she is moving towards her happiness. Guess what? You end with the sun. So you are literally being guided towards the sun, or your like true happiness, true fulfillment, your inner light, your inner child with the sun as well. And the Queen of Wands is a little tricky because she's my card of learning as you go. So it basically says, you probably know what would make you happy, but you just don't know how to get there. And the Queen of Wands says, do it anyway. That, basically she says you will learn as you go. And so I would just go for it, whatever it is. Even if there's, the other thing is, even if there's competition, you have the Five of Wands here, and the Five of Wands is conflict or competition, but then you have the Eight of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles basically says get to work. It basically says, it doesn't matter if there's competition for something you desire. If, I truly believe if something is for you, it's for you. With the Four of Pentacles, you have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, something, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Something is like shaking up your security or making you feel it's like you're letting go of something that you think is bringing you security, but it actually isn't, The other thing that could be happening here with the Eight of Pentacles is, again, that it's just like there's a better way to do things. Like you might think that you need to do a certain thing with your finances or in work or in business or whatever, and but really there's probably a better way. And, that's what I would say with that Five of Pentacles. The other thing I would say is that the Five of Wands is a card of conflict and competition, but if you're wondering like what this is, maybe you need to study the competition. I think the Five of Wands is an amazing card for looking at the competition. Look at how they do things and look at how they don't do things. We have to look at both sides with the Five of Wands because, number one, we might find a solution that exists that no one's ever thought of, what they're not doing. And we might also find that if we just did what works, that it would work. And, sometimes... I've really kind of like figured this out over the past couple of years. It took me 37 years to figure this out. That, it's like sometimes I think people think they're doing what is working, but when I look at their work, they're not. So I've been teaching YouTube for like 2 years now or something like that. And so many times people come to me and they're like, I'm doing exactly what these other people are doing. I'm doing the same thing. And when I look at their work, they're not. They're doing something completely random. And so, again, not a criticism of those people, of course, but I think it would be a great time to like really look at the competition and really make sure that you're doing what works. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Are you getting a good result for the work you're doing, or should you be making more, or should you be getting more out of something? I believe as humans that we are meant to grow as much as possible. So when we stop growing, really we're kind of like slowing ourselves down. And, people always say to me like, well, it's not about money and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, have fun living under a bridge. You go do that. And it's like, if you don't want money, that's fine. Give it away, right? It's like, but still you're making the world a better place if you are growing as much as possible. So it is about the money, number one. And, I feel that with the Seven of Pentacles that, it's like there could be more here. And again, if you hate money so much, give it away, right? I have a PayPal link, right? Send it to me. I'll take it. I love money. There you go. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is a change in direction and a change in your fortunes. Definitely could be a change in your fortunes here, Virgo. The Wheel of Fortune we have to control. The Wheel of Fortune can spin forwards or backwards. Really, I always say we want to be at the center of the wheel here. There are 3 wheels in the center one. The 2 wheels on the outside spin. This is straight up and down. You can see the symbol in the middle of the Wheel of Fortune. And we kind of want to be at the center of the wheel because that's when we can see good things and bad things as they come. We want to double down on the good stuff and take care of the bad stuff right away. If we do that, then the wheel will spin in our direction. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Wizard card. It says, use your skills to aid others. There you go. You have this Chimera. It says, imagination clouds your judgment. Seven of Cups at the end. Not too worried about it because the Seven of Cups is coming up in the good stuff. But what I will say is we are going to have Neptune will be retrograding back into Pisces this year. And yeah, I mean, definitely, Neptune is a little bit delusional. And this is not a bad thing, by the way, here, Virgo. All we have to do is we just have to back up what we're doing with evidence, right? So we should have the dream, and then we should make sure we're taking a concrete step towards the dream in the real world. And if we do that, then we will manifest things. I've been saying for years, the best example I can give you is relationships. I'm not talking about a relationship in this reading. Really, there's only a little bit of love here, but what I used to warn people against during Neptune and Pisces is like long distance, because the fantasy becomes more attractive than the reality. And if you're going to get in something long distance, for example, under Neptune and Pisces, you should say, okay, if I don't meet this person in the next 6 months, then I need to cut it off because it's never going to be real, right? And it's just about having that boundary with Neptune and saying, like, this is my boundary. This is what I'm willing to put up with. And if nothing happens and there aren't any concrete steps, and that's the other thing as well that I told people, like, if you're going to be in something long distance, you need to make sure that there are concrete steps on how you're going to meet. But now, not speaking of relationships, for you on a personal level, Virgo, I think you just need to come up with a concrete plan on how you're going to accomplish something that you're trying to accomplish, and then you need to do it with the Eight of Pentacles. And it's not about being perfect. You don't have to know all the right answers. You're learning as you go with the Queen of Wands. It's just about taking the first step. You have the Four Swords, Five of Wands, and the High Priestess. I think you need a break here, Virgo, for sure. So, don't beat yourself up. If you feel like you need to take a day off, take a day off. If you feel like you need to go on vacation, take vacation, right? I literally just feel this card is simply saying that Virgo needs a break. He's kind of like hoping and praying for a blessing. There's a person right here who's blessing this other person. But I kind of also feel that a break would be a blessing. So if you need a vacation or some alone time, I would make sure you take it. You have the Five of Wands, which we already talked about. I think, this is conflict and competition. I would be studying the competition if I were you. I think there could be a lot of benefits in like learning from the competition and, kind of like figuring out new ways to overcome the competition. I would be doing things to figure out what the competition isn't doing, what you can do, and all that other good stuff with the Five of Wands. So I would mess around with that for sure with the Five of Wands. I think it would be very good for you. You have the High Priestess. High Priestess, again, is another card of growing as much as possible, believe it or not. She's a card of mystery, secrets, intuition, trusting your intuition. But she has no roof over her head. And, something people don't know about the High Priestess is she is really the card of unlimited potential. She's the card that says, if you set your mind to it, you can have it, whatever it is. And I feel you need to believe in your limitless nature here, Virgo, and you really need to believe that things are possible. I think everybody does, so that the robots don't take over is really what it's about, because, I think that, who knows? They could try to convince us that we all need microchips to become superhuman, but really we have those powers inside of us. We just have to use it. So, I don't know, don't become a robot. With the Four Swords, you have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, victory. Sometimes I think people don't realize what a break will give them. Sometimes I think people are like, I need money, so I have to just work and work and work. But it's like that is actually the thing that is creating resistance. And once you take a break, it's like you kind of say to yourself, I'm going to have abundance no matter what. And when you get to that place, that's where you can truly have these victories. So, it's almost like you have been working too hard. And maybe you just need to say, I don't always have to work so hard. I don't need to, create this prison of work for myself. I can be free. And that's kind of the energy I get here. The thing about the Eight of Pentacles is that it's straightforward, diligent work. He's working hard, but it's a process that he is sticking to. He's like doing one thing. And I think there's a big difference between just working, 60-hour weeks, right, and not being efficient. The Eight of Pentacles, he might be getting a better result than most people only working 20 hours a week, right, because he is focused on that 20 hours. And, that's like the difference with the Eight of Pentacles. He is working hard, but it's actually efficient, focused work, which could be less work than you're doing right now. There's something about less work in this reading for you, Virgo, and yeah, I would research it, learn it, figure it out. With the Five of Wands, you have the Eight of Swords. Maybe you've been allowing competition to keep you stuck. So the Eight of Swords is only seeing one way of doing things when there are many. And like I said, the Five of Wands is about seeing what the competition is and is not doing, because you might discover something different, a different way of doing things, or a different way of working, or a different way of finding love, whatever it is that you want. And I kind of feel this card is asking you to set yourself free by looking for other ways. With the High Priestess, you have the Six of Wands. There you go. Success, a victory, growth, all those things that we talked about. So there clearly could be some sort of success coming in for you if you kind of believe in your limitless nature. I think that's what I want to say in this reading. Next in the area messages from your future self, you have this exploration card. It says, right now you need to search and explore. It's okay to wander until you find your home. Five of Wands. I think it would be great for you to study and look at what you're not doing in whatever area of your life you want to improve and explore. You have this dolphin spirit. You can't make this one up. It says, stop taking life so seriously and splash some joy in your everyday life. What was I talking about? Working too much, right? Being too much in that work mode. And this could be on anything. This could be your health. It could be your relationships, your businesses, your ideas, whatever. But I was definitely getting on that Four of Pentacles and the Four Swords and the Eight of Pentacles. Like, there could be much more efficient ways to do everything that you're doing. And I would just not fight against it. I would be and be more joyful as well. And that's what I would do with these two cards. You have the Eight of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Ace of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. The Eight of Pentacles, like I said, is straightforward, diligent work. I really feel this is going to be your best friend this month, is this type of energy. It's like I said, I think sometimes people get stuck in the hard work trap and they create an Eight of Swords for themselves, because by working hard, you're telling the universe, I have to work hard for my abundance, right? And so we want to make sure that we're working efficiently. I don't think this says don't work hard. I think it's more saying, be efficient. It's like one thing if you work hard, right, and you get 10 times the result. Then, that's perfectly fine because you're getting more than you put into what you're doing. But I also think there's something about creating balance here. Like if you're only working and not having fun, for example, then the universe is like, well, to make money, they can't have fun, right? So I think you need to kind of really maybe design the life you desire and, create efficient work, but also like fun and other things as well. Definitely could be a victory. I wasn't sure what this card was because it was underneath this Ace of Wands. These two cards wanted to come out together. You have the Six of Wands and the Chariot. These are both cards of like having a victory. The Chariot is about setting yourself apart and doing things differently. Can't make that up either, Virgo, because of the Five of Wands. There really could be a creative solution with the Ace of Wands, or, like a new way of working that could set you apart in work or business and make you more money. And so that's what I would be looking for, based off this reading. I also feel like some of you could be moving. I think I said this in your last reading as well, but Jupiter is in Gemini in Pisces' 4th house, which is your opposite sign, Pisces. And so sometimes I feel that you two are very similar. I say it in a lot of readings for you, Virgo, and I say it to Pisces as well. It's like out of all the signs I read for, Pisces and Virgo are the two most similar opposites that I read for. And so it wouldn't surprise me if some of you were thinking about moving or thinking about traveling or, going somewhere new. And I think that would be good. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is a card of boundaries. That's what I feel for you. It's a wounded warrior. It's a card of perseverance, not giving up. But I feel that a lot of you Virgos have definitely had lessons over the past few years of like learning to put up boundaries or learning to have boundaries with people. And I would just like stick to your boundaries is what I feel like this card is saying. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Hierophant. The Hierophant can represent blessings. So there could be some blessings coming in for you. The Hierophant is also a card of initiation. He has 3 levels to his crown, which represent initiation, apprenticeship, and mastery. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of apprenticeship. So you could be becoming a master at work. And there's definitely something about your finances here. Even if you're retired, right? You could be learning about finances. You could be mastering investing or something else that retired people do. I don't know. I'm never going to retire. So I don't know. I'll never experience it. I'm going to die on stumps working, even though I just told you not to work too hard. But, still, I think there's a lot you can learn. The Hierophant is the teacher, and so it's clear to me that this reading is encouraging you to learn about your finances so that you can be more successful. With the Ace of Wands and the Chariot, what do you know? You have the Eight of Pentacles. Again, straightforward, diligent work. That's the other thing as well. You have the Mouse card, which says tend to the small things, but the Mouse could also be just saying keep it simple, right? Eight of Pentacles, he's doing one thing. He is kind of keeping it simple. He's not working on 900 things at once. So, this could say that the simple solution is the solution, and that's what you should focus on. I also am getting something here about money coming back from the past. Now, sometimes I feel that the Eight of Pentacles is, it does represent material success on the horizon, but sometimes I feel that the Eight of Pentacles represents money coming back from the past. It's saying that you've already done some work and you could be getting paid for that work. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Eight of Cups. Yes, strict boundaries, basically. This says when you put a boundary up against something, you have to walk away, right? And so some of you could be putting up boundaries with, like, anything. I feel everything. Like, I feel like some of you are creating boundaries with yourself, even. I think you're creating boundaries with people. And this might mean that you have to walk away from certain situations to maintain those boundaries, but I think it'll be good. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have the support card and this patience card. I do feel like there's a lot of support for you. I feel that we've all, like everybody on earth has learned the lesson of, people who come from love and people who come from fear. And I would focus on the support that comes from a position of love, because that's going to be the best thing for you. I feel like you have been very patient. It's almost like you're getting clarity because you have the sun in this part of the reading. And I feel like you've been patient for clarity on like what your next step should be and what you should be doing. You have the Four of Wands, the Seven of Cups, and the Sun. Four of Wands can be marriage, and the Hierophant as well. So if you're looking for love, or if you already have it, it could be a stronger commitment coming in. The Four of Wands also a card of setting yourself free. And I feel like you need to set yourself free from hard work, right? Like just hard work for hard work's sake, hard work and not getting a result. If you're working hard, and like I said, if you're getting like 5 times, 10 times what you put in, then that's fine. But if you're putting in hard work into something and not getting a result, then it's time to set yourself free and find a better way of doing things, is what this card is saying. I kind of feel also a long-term theme for Virgo is committing to their identity. And I really feel one of the best things Virgo could do over the next couple years is like be who you are. I know that sounds lame, but it's probably something that you might be nervous to share about yourself that is like your true identity. And I feel like you need to kind of like put your, commit to your real identity in life, and that will be the best thing for you. You have the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is being spoiled for choice, so I think there could be a lot more options coming in for you. Could say with the competition thing that you're discovering a bunch of things that the competition isn't doing, and by doing those things, you're creating more success. Seven of Cups is also about manifesting your dream on Earth, so a lot of you could be working towards like manifesting like a part of your dream or some aspect of your dream here on Earth, and I feel that would be good. You have the Sun, more fun, right? The Sun has this wall that exists behind this baby here, and this wall represents the wall that we all put up against our inner child. And the Sun says that we have to let our inner child out. We have to be more playful, have more fun, enjoy life more. This reading is definitely, that's pretty much the only thing that this reading is saying. You need to have more fun. And so I would do whatever you can to enjoy yourself more. With the Queen of Wands, I would definitely move towards joy and desire. She has that sunflower. Again, that sunflower is pointing towards what she desires. So if you're doing things that are not pointing in the direction of your desire, then you're kind of cheating yourself out of good things. And I would make sure that you don't do that with this card. With the Four of Wands, you have the Two of Cups. Yeah, if you want love, definitely could be a love connection coming in for you. It's not really a love reading. I mean, there are a couple of love cards here, but, maybe you're just meeting a person, or maybe you'll be meeting a person that you will commit to in the future. I always say Two of Cups is usually a person who is different than your usual type. Two of Cups is also usually starts with communication. So you could be meeting a person where you just start communicating with them, and then it kind of goes from there. If you already have love, this does look very good. So if you're already in a connection, this could be you kind of making a deeper commitment to the connection, or you could be getting married. Congratulations, Virgo. Here you go. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Four of Wands. Seven of Cups, all these ideas. Four of Wands is committing to one thing. Eight of Pentacles, same thing. So the Four of Wands is the card of commitment. Four of Wands says commitment will set you free. Instead of being distracted by a million ideas at once with the Seven of Cups, picking one thing and saying, I'm going to make this happen is really the trick with the Four of Wands. With the Sun, you have the King of Wands. Could be a fire sign. You always get fire with me if you're looking for love. Could be any sign, general reading. But you also on top of that, you have the King and Queen of Wands, which are divine counterparts. So the King and Queen of Wands, could be a very fiery connection coming in for you. I also do feel for some of you that this is actually not a connection. I shouldn't say that. I think that it is maybe a connection in the sense that it's something you are connected to. So this could be like an idea. With the Ace of Wands, it could be something inspirational or something that inspires you. And the King of Wands would be you having the confidence to make it happen. So I kind of feel that confidence and being bold and assertive is going to be important as well. You have this Saturn and Pisces card. It says loss on it. We have Saturn and Pisces right now. It will be moving into Aries soon enough. But, Saturn and Pisces definitely it's your opposite sign. So there could be some sort of loss. But usually this is like a change that we're making for the better. So, this crow on this card is picking over these bones, but there's like nothing left on these bones. So it kind of says like whatever you're working on, it's like there might be nothing left and you're making a change to find something better. And like I said, you have this choice card. Yeah, I mean, ultimately life is about choices. So I feel you have a choice. I would pick the choice that makes you grow as much as possible, like I said, with that High Priestess card. And yeah, I would just move towards growth. You have this affair card. Definitely could be love. This is not like a cheating affair. This is like love. So again, for those of you that want love, there is a little bit of love here. I kind of feel like you're focused on other things, though, for the most part. Again, it's not really a love reading, right? But, again, love definitely could show up. Usually, I think that when we're not focused on love, that's when it shows up in the first place. So, again, you might not be focused on love, but here it is. So, there you go. You have this optimism card. You have the sun. The sun is a card of optimism. And I would be moving towards things that make you feel more optimistic. So you need to focus more on the good stuff, and I would move in those directions with the Queen of Wands as well. You have this acquisition card. Could be a Taurus that you're attracting into your life as well. But this is my fancy couple card. So if you're attracting love, definitely could be like a fancy couple situation going on here. But this looks really good here, Virgo. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.